Hello there and welcome to a brand new episode of Hala Kuwait. My name is Tariq Al-Aryan and we're coming to you live tonight from the Ministry of Information studios right here in downtown Kuwait. And I hope everyone out there is having a great evening wherever you may be watching tonight's episode of the program. And in the beginning of our show, I would like to highlight to our dear viewers that the virus and the chance of catching COVID-19 is still out there. Please stay safe and maintain the wearing of medical masks and social distancing. Please listen to information in all health-related issues from reliable sources, especially with regards to vaccinations. First off this evening, let's get to our first report. We'll be joined very shortly in about 4 minutes' time by His Excellency, the Indian Ambassador to the State of Kuwait. But first off, we have this report about Indian Independence Day. Stay tuned. Well, we're back right here on Hala Kuwait, and I hope everyone out there is enjoying their evening. Right now we have with us our first guest. We have with us His Excellency Mr. C.B. George, the Ambassador of India to the State of Kuwait. Your Excellency, welcome to our program Hala Kuwait.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have you once again with us this evening right here on Hala Kuwait. And Mr. Ambassador, I know you've completed about a year, I think, or so of your tenure right here in the State of Kuwait. And I know it's been a very year with a lot of things going on, different things when it comes with COVID and so forth. Tell us a little bit about your experiences right here in the State of Kuwait this past year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I came in August last year to Kuwait, and it was in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic. And I had many challenges in front of me, but I found that Kuwait is in the forefront of fight against COVID. I'm very happy that Kuwait has been able to work together with the international community and defeat to a great extent the pandemic. I'm very happy for the support the Indian community in Kuwait received from the government and the people of Kuwait in our fight against COVID-19 pandemic. So one of my first efforts here in Kuwait was to bring together both the countries, both the communities in the fight against COVID. I'm very happy that we were able to achieve that. At the same time, I had a task cut for strengthening the long-standing dynamic partnership between our two countries. I'm very happy that we were able to make steady progress in that at the political level, at the economic level, and of course at the vibrant people-to-people level, despite all the challenges posed by the COVID-19.
Yeah, Your Excellency, you had a lot of high-level visits, also a lot of great collaboration between India and the State of Kuwait this past year, and numerous activities also, a lot of them online with the COVID restrictions and so forth, but really a very active year for you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, you are absolutely right. This is 1 year. Despite the challenges of COVID, we saw very important political engagement between the two countries. I would say that there are regular telephonic conversations between the leadership of two countries. The Prime Minister of the State of Kuwait, His Highness, had telephonic conversation with my Prime Minister. My Foreign Minister, External Affairs Minister had several rounds of telephonic conversation with His Excellency, the Foreign Minister of Kuwait. Of course, there was high-level visits, like the Foreign Minister of Kuwait was in India in March this year, and the Indian External Affairs Minister was here in Kuwait in June. So we maintained that excellent high-level political engagement, which is very important. We followed up that with the official level engagement. It is not easy to travel between the two countries. So we adopted this vibrant hybrid program, that is on virtual, and it worked. We had the joint working group on the hydrocarbon which was held. We will have several meetings actually between the chambers, between the business community, between the officials. A lot of meetings are taking place virtually.
Good
so
to
we
hear
are
that.
making progress.
Good to hear that, Your Excellency. And India's Independence Day is coming up on August 15th. What, in your view, is the significance of this milestone, 75 years of independence, sir?
75 years is a very important milestone in the history of any country. For India, it was in 1947, India became an independent country after a very unique, non-violent independence movement led by Mahatma Gandhi, who is considered to be the apostle of peace and non-violence. We are proud of that era of non-violent fight to defeat the colonizers. So today we are celebrating that anniversary on 15th August. So first of all, it is an occasion to remember and honor the people who sacrificed their lives for the freedom of India. Then look at the development in the last 75 years. I'm very happy to know that India has emerged as a very responsible democratic country in the world. It is the largest democracy in the world. India has become an economically important country. It has so there is scientific progress, economic progress, advancement we made in the space technology, nuclear technology, IT technology,
many different sectors,
and AI
Mr.
sector,
Ambassador.
absolutely.
Could you tell us a little bit about India's rise as an economic, political, technology and talent superpower on the global level? Maybe elaborate a little bit more on that, sir.
Yes. For the last 2 decades, in fact, India has been growing almost 9% and even sometimes above that.
Okay.
The target that was set by the Honorable Prime Minister for India today is a $5 trillion economy. Due to COVID, there were challenges, but we are still hopeful that despite the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, we would be able to make significant progress in the economy. What has happened that irrespective of the challenges of COVID, we were able to continue with our economic reform programs. We have one standard tax today all over the country. We have brought in changes and reforms in various sectors, agriculture reforms, labor reforms, and more spending towards research, a new education policy. A lot of changes were brought in which would help build the talent in India. For example, we have a big program to Skill India program. That means we have a large population, a large youth population. The success of the country depends on how well we can skill them, to train them and make them useful human resources, not only for India but for the rest of the world.
Sure.
And you are seeing that even in Kuwait, there are a large number of Indians working together with my Kuwaiti brothers and sisters for the economic progress of the country.
Tell us about what are India's key ingredients for this success? What makes this growth model sustainable, sir?
See, what we have done through several years is to build an infrastructure in every field.
Okay.
You have seen the medical infrastructure of India. Yes, we had challenges, but at the same time, over a period of several years, India has emerged as the pharmacy of the world. Some of the best medical institutions in the world is in India. We are the largest producer of generic medicine. We are the largest producer of vaccines in the world. So that kind of a progress has made in the medical sector. Similar is the case with many other sectors if you look at it. Scientific achievements, research institutions. We have some of the best engineering institutions in the world. A large number of Indian engineers are there in Kuwait. If you look at the rest of the world, a large number of engineers are working towards scientific achievements. So this progress has been made because we built infrastructure in education, infrastructure in the medical sector, in the scientific areas. So this is a work in progress. India has been over the period of build a talented, young, skilled manpower in the country, which is helping.
Your Excellency, what are the areas of cooperation that you'd like to strengthen right here in the state of Kuwait, please?
See, we have a very traditional relationship, age-old relationship. So there is cultural affinity, there is very close political engagement. So this gives us a very good opportunity and platform for building our relationship. At the business level, we need to do more. What we have done is we have an excellent buyer-seller relationship. We buy oil and hydrocarbons from Kuwait. Kuwait buys food materials and other items from India. This is a buyer-seller relationship, which is very important because you gives us energy security, we give Kuwait food security.
Yes.
But we need to go beyond that. We need to build this relationship into a partnership which is deep-rooted, which would be a mutually beneficial one for both the people of both the countries.
Your Excellency, how do you intend to achieve this collaboration?
What in the embassy, what I have done is that I have set up a few platforms, which is called, one is the Indian Business Network.
All right.
The Indian Business Network, we brought together a lot of Indian businessmen and a lot of Kuwaiti businessmen together to see. They themselves have to brainstorm and see what are the opportunities available so that we can do the matchmaking. We brought in together Indian Professionals Network, a lot of professionals, scientists, a lot of scientists here. What are the areas where they can work with the Kuwaiti best minds and contribute towards that development? So these kind of steps we have taken. And let me tell you, Kuwait has a lot of young talent. India has a lot of young talent.
Yes.
And we have a history of very close relationship. I think there is huge potential to build this partnership between the youth of both the countries. I think we need to look at that.
Well, we look forward to further enhancing that collaboration on the level of the youth, which I know yourself, you're very keen on promoting, and you have, I know, regular activities on a regular basis. You're very friendly with all the different media outlets, Mr. Ambassador, and we do appreciate, for myself and my colleagues, we appreciate your access to us and so forth. And also another question that comes to mind is tourism, Mr. Ambassador. India is such a beautiful country in so many ways. I mean, we could spend the next hour or even more just talking about that. So tell us, how are things with tourism and so forth, getting better, and hopefully in the near future things can get back to normal very soon. Tell us more about that.
Oh, absolutely. I think once the COVID situation improves, post-COVID, India is going to be one of the best sought after destination for tourism. People have realized, because during this COVID period, people realized that it is important to travel. And we have a history between the two countries. People, the last, if you look at the previous generations, our forefathers have been traveling.
Yes.
A lot of friends from Kuwait have been traveling to India.
There's a lot of family connections also.
A lot of families have their connect.
Yes.
In fact, whoever I met, they have India as one of their, in the wish list.
Yes.
And as ambassador, I have been trying to take that out from the wish list and to put it in the immediately to-do list.
All right.
And I'm very happy that I'm very confident that that would happen, because most of my Kuwaiti friends have told me that they look forward to visit India, and some of them it as the first destination immediately after COVID, because India has a lot to offer.
That's
as
right.
you said, that if you go to the north, there are things. If you go to the south, there are beaches and rivers, and if you go to the north, there is snow.
So whatever anyone's looking for, you can
river
find
rafting,
it.
Adventure tourism, and medical tourism.
That's
that is
right.
very important, because people haven't had that touch of natural wellness for a few years now. I think immediately
this is needed
after
at this
COVID,
time.
it is time to go and have an
I know you're
Ayurveda.
keen on that also. You've had some,
Absolutely.
I think, events dealing with yoga
That
and
is
so
right,
forth, well-being.
yes.
This of a personal interest to you.
That is right. We had a big yoga event which we held in the embassy, which was participated with a lot of our Kuwaiti friends.
Yes.
And Ayurveda, I have set up an Ayush information cell in the embassy, first time in the entire Gulf region.
Okay.
Because this would help our Kuwaiti friends to understand more about Ayurveda and wellness tourism. So we look forward to engaging with them closely and arranging their travel to various wellness centers in India.
Well, Your Excellency, it's always a pleasure to have you with us, and on the occasion of the Independence Day, which is coming up very soon. Do you have any last words that you'd like to share with the audience who may be watching this evening, sir?
Well, thank you very much. We are celebrating the 75th Independence Day on August 15th. At 8 a.m. in the morning, I look forward to receiving you all virtually at the Indian Embassy when we unfurl the tricolor and sing the national anthem together. This is a year of difficulties, but let us celebrate India in Kuwait along with our brothers and sisters in Kuwait. Thank you and good evening.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It's always a pleasure to have you with us right here on Hello Kuwait. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We were speaking to His Excellency Mr. C.B. George, the Ambassador of India to the State of Kuwait. And as usual, we thank him very much for his valuable time and insight with us this evening right here on Hello Kuwait.